Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. I'm back here again today. Uh, Thank you all for being here. And it is Wednesday, and it was snowing when I left this morning. And I think we're getting some more snow. Probably not a whole lot, but enough to cover the ground. Um, I would love to see snow on Christmas Day. What about you guys? you know um, it would be nice because then we're off and we can enjoy Christmas. I like to see snow on Christmas Day, have the Christmas music going, and baking cookies and watching movies. That's my idea for good Christmas. So how is everyone feeling today? I hope everyone's doing well. I'm tired today. uh, Hopefully my doctor doesn't hear this. But I had more coffee than I was supposed to today. But it's one of those days where I just feel so like, tired that I can use more sleep. So the caffeine helps a little bit. But I am doing good with that. I am doing 2 cups a day, but I just had an extra one today because it's one of those days where I just feel really tired. But anyway, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing good and that you look forward to hearing these messages because it's all in good spirit to lift you up, to help you, and to energize your spirit and to renew your hope. And also to let you know that you have a choice. You don't have to stay in despair and depression and feel broken. You have a choice in a matter to heal and to get better. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sharing the videos. Continue to do that so other people all over the states can hear the message. Because, like I said, and I always say on this video, there's someone somewhere who's in depression, pain, and isolated, and they feel very much in despair, and they don't know what to do to help themselves. In fact, some of these individuals think there's no hope, that all hope is lost, and that's not the case at all. So please share the videos with people like this because sometimes, you know, I can sit here and talk about things that happened to me and that caused me a great deal of pain and despair. However, other people, especially those who are going through it really bad at the moment, sometimes they're not able to share. They're just in so much pain and in a place of isolation that they just need to hear a positive word, a message uplifting them, to let them know that there is some help and hope out there. So let's get into it today, guys. The title today is Listen to Your Intuition. I want to first say to newcomers and everyone else, welcome. And please keep in mind that I am not a certified therapist or social worker. I don't have a degree in that area. I am someone who went through a lot of pain and loss and grief um, during the shutdown. And I talk about ways that I overcame it. Well, got through it. We never get over the grief. We always feel that emptiness because of the loss. But however, we can get through it, and we can heal and get better. And that's what this channel is about, to uplift people, to bring people together and let them know that there are alternative ways to heal and to get through the pain and grief of loss. So that is the purpose of this channel. It is also a non-judgment zone here. We don't judge others here. We're here to help, renew, and to uplift. So, one of the things for myself, and I don't ever tell anyone, you have to do this, you have to do that. I always talk from my place of experiences as to what I've gone through. Like, for example, here, for me, I find that having a relationship with God to be satisfying and rewarding because I had to learn, you know, I think sometimes what happens, God strips us down to nothing where we don't have anything and we don't have any people around us. Like in the Bible with Job, for example, he was tested right down to nothing. and he was still faithful to God. So sometimes when, I was losing sight of what really mattered, and God allowed everything to be stripped so that I can learn to lean on him and not lean on other people, because the people I was leaning on didn't care about me anyway. They wanted me broken, busted down, and disgusted. But God um, allowed that to happen so that I can learn that I needed him. I needed to depend on him, you know, to uplift me and to help me. And I got it. It took a while to get it, but not that I didn't believe in him or trust him, but that I need to solely put all my trust in God instead of individuals and people, because time and time again, he was showing me that these people were untrustworthy. And I'm not saying that everybody here may have that situation in their life. I'm speaking from my own personal experiences as to how I was brought down to the ground and how God lifted me back up after I learned lessons. And so what I'm saying, once you start to heal and get it, those lessons already been learned. And even if they try to come back around, this is why I just block uh, I just block, cut off, and delete, because I'm not allowing it back in. So I'm saying all of this to say, during the most darkest time of my life, I leaned on God and I learned to trust him. I didn't know where it was going to lead me, where it was going to take me, but I knew that I had faith, and my faith was strong enough to get through anything with God. And once I made some vows and I started to move forward in my healing journey, God started to come through. I'm telling you, there's some things that happen that's unbelievable because God is coming through. And so when, I hear stories about people wanting to knock other people down to size and knock them off their path, you're going to have to knock God down first. And when God has you under his umbrella of protection, you're going to have to knock him down first. So I just let that uh go past me and continue to stay on this path, because I know what helped me can help other people, because I didn't have any help around me. Everything was shut down. My dog had died. Everything was just gone, you know, and my mother died. And I was just in a place of anger for a very long time, just angry with everything. And I had to learn that I had to be stripped down so that I can learn where my source is, which is God. And it doesn't mean being religious, people. It doesn't mean being self righteous, none of that. It just means that I have a doorway, an opening, a relationship with God. It doesn't mean I have to be very religious, because I'm quite honestly, I'm not religious. I go to church, but I'm not religious. I am more spiritual because God is a spiritual being. And, I had to learn to put my faith and trust in here. I'm not here to give a sermon. However, I'm just sharing my experiences on how I got from A to B. And that some people from the past who are trying to do any and everything behind the scenes, to try to get me back in their energy, that I'm not coming back, because I have healed those areas. I'm not completely healed. I don't know if we are ever completely healed, but we can get through it and overcome these things. And then we can be a testimony and a blessing to somebody else. And that's what I'm doing, because I know what I went through and how difficult when you have to go through these things alone. And it's no fun. But I learned lessons because like I said, I was an overgiver, very generous, given to the wrong people, given to the wrong situations. And people were taking advantage of that. Oh, this girl is dumber than a rock. She's doing this. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we're all going to take from her. And that's the energy that I was attracting because of my generosity, because I like to help people and see people happy, because of my light and energy. And now that I am aware of this, after everything I've gone through, because like I said, God has shown me everything. Look at who and what you have around you. It's toxic. You have to remove it. I did the work. I still do the work with my therapist, and I work on myself. I keep my environment peaceful as much as possible. and I keep the toxicity out, and it's important for me to keep doing that. And guys, as you do this, in the beginning, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be difficult, maybe frustrating. You don't feel like doing the work. I know I didn't. But as you stay on the path and you're consistent with it, it gets easier. It's just like something new that you have to learn at work, right? And you go, oh, I don't want to take on another task. I don't want to do this. But as you learn that specific project or thing, whatever it is, as you do it over and over and over again, it becomes easier. And then it just becomes a part of you, you know? And so that's what I had to learn. Don't give up. Stay focused. Keep moving. Keep going. It doesn't matter about the noise around me. Tune that out. Tune that out. You know. And more importantly, let me tell you guys about something that really worked. When you're very serious about healing the grief, and you want peace and you want to heal from all this other stuff, toxicity, whether it's the loss of a loved one, trauma, or toxicity, or whatever it may be, when you get on that path and you're serious about healing yourself, you know, and you want to stay focused, one of the things that I learned to do, and I'm going to share this with you, is that every toxic and negative thing that people, because sometimes people from your past want to hold on to you, they want to hold on to dear life. But as you grow and you heal, you're no longer that person that they used to know. And that's what people don't understand, because as you grow and heal, you evolve. You're not that same individual who they were with once before or had a connection to. So as you do that, they may want to come back and hold on and all of that. So what I do when things become a burden, it feels overwhelming to me, I lift up and I talk to God. I don't have rehearsed conversations with him. I talk to him like like I would my father if he was here, my earthly father if he was here. And I tell God how this is making me feel, the stress, the overburdening is too much. And then I lift up and give it to him. I'm giving this situation, and I go into the details of everything within that situation and how it's making me feel. It's no longer something that I can deal with. So I'm taking this burden and I'm lifting it up and I'm giving it to you, God. So now that burden is no longer mine. It belongs to God. So these people from the past trying to do this, trying to do that, and et cetera and so forth, they now fighting with God because that burden I'm not carrying anymore. God is. What you think going to happen? And I tell you, from my own experiences, God is amazing on how this plays out, because I don't want anything from the past to reconcile with, because most of the things it's toxic. Like I recently reconciled with a friend, but like I said in previous videos, me and her, we've known each other since I was 14, because she's a little older than me, but we never had a toxic or conflict matter. All of this was because of the religious organization that the both of us was connected to. And I got thrown out at an early age, at the age of 23. And then, years later, we connected up. And, she was my best friend. And it's good to talk with her. And we talk and we share. We've been catching up, and it's a good thing. And she's probably watching on my channel. So I'm going to say hi without calling out your name. I would never do that. But hi, and thank you for being here as well. And, we're going to catch up again. So what I'm trying to say with everything is, as I do that and give these things to God, and I put him in everything that I do, he's been bringing blessings and knocking, and he's been taking on all these toxicity things and burdens and etc. And as he take them on, they're no longer with me. It belongs with him. This may sound unusual to people, but I'm telling you that it works, because I do this all the time. And so I just wanted to say that before I go into the intuition situation. When you're dealing with grief sometimes, and all of a sudden you find out something traumatic, like you lost someone, a spouse, a child, a parent, something that hit you, and especially when it's unexpected. You know, your body can go into a state of a trauma. So sometimes what happens when you deal with grief, your body shuts down, to protect yourself from trauma, going into trauma, or being trauma bound. So what this means that you might not recognize certain signs of toxicity during that time that your body shuts itself down due to the grief and what you're going through due to a loss. That you may not notice some toxic situations that is taking place around you, and that's what happened to me when my mom died. And I'm like, no, she's not going. This is not happening. And she did pass away, and I didn't want to accept it. And I was in all just, but there was toxic situations and people and circumstances around me. And I didn't really start to deal with these things until I went into therapy, grief therapy. That's why I always emphasize that, whether in the beginning or end of each video, because it's so important. It's going to help you. And once, I started doing the work with my therapist, I started to realize the toxicity that I had around me. And I had to root it out, uplift it, root it out, get rid of it. Because one of the worst things for me is to try to be in a place of healing and have all this toxicity around me. It's like trying to grow flowers, in your backyard, and you have weeds all over the place. The weeds are going to grow up and choke the plant before it can even breathe or live. And that's what I had around me. So how can I heal? How can I grow and expand and get better if I have all this toxic situations and individuals around me? I had to uproot it and weed it out, so to speak, get rid of it. And I had a hard time doing that. So therapy helped me to see this and to make decisions instead of staying in a place of being stagnated and depressed and motionless. This is why it's important to get on and stay on the path to healing. When you start to heal, not only does your mental and physical health get better, your intuition opens up, So does your intuition. It opens up because sometimes when you're going through trauma and grief and loss, your intuition is not on key point. Sometimes it may not be working at all due to the fact that you are in this place of depression and severe grief. Always, follow your intuition because it would never lead you down the wrong path. If you, get that feeling about something, especially if you're out somewhere and something doesn't feel right and you get that really sick feeling in your gut, don't do it, get away from the situation. I know something recently that occurred where someone from the past wanted to reconcile, and I haven't heard from this person in about 2 years. All of a sudden get a message, blah blah, etc. And the individual said to me, about meeting up. And I made it clear I'm not meeting up with anyone from my past. I'm not doing any of this. You want to talk, you can have a conversation, but that's about it. And I'm very serious about that because what they, and the person was shook to their very core because I'm not that same Lisa Vaughn that they knew when they were interacting with me. And I'm talking about friends and stuff. I'm not really, relationships, but any type of situation, whether it's family, whether it's ex-friends, ex-relationships, ex-businesses, whatever it is, I am not interested in reconciling. And one of the reasons, let me explain that. I'm not being mean or, just what people think. It's because I have done everything within my power to to not reconcile, but what's the word I'm looking for? Everything within my power to resolve issues that I've been having with those individuals before the door was shut and padlocked. And I tried over and over again, but they did not want to resolve these issues. Some of these individuals would, it's my way or the highway, you do what I tell you kind of situation. And that's not how any type of relationship works. It has to be a equal give and take, not one person overbearing another. And even in situations of businesses, a good leader, and no matter how big they are or powerful, they would listen and hear the concerns and situations of their staff, because their staff may be telling them about a situation that's occurring that they have no knowledge of. So sometimes people are stuck in their ego and I'm going to do this and but if they let go of that ego and take time to just listen and hear, they may learn something about some a situation or something that's going on that they have no knowledge of. And I'm just throwing that out there. Also, with me, when I try, I give my all to any situation, whether it's family, whether it's friendship, businesses, etc., whatever it is. And when someone keeps being toxic and bringing their ego in a situation and doing things overbearing is what I call it, then one day, like I said, I make mental notes and stuff. And if it's going to continue on and on, I'm going to shut it down. And one of the ways I do that is by blocking, cutting off, and being done with it. So that's why I'm very firm on no reconciliations, because that means before it got to this point, I have done everything in my power. I'm not perfect. I have my faults just like everyone else. I've done everything in my power to resolve it. The other party is not on the same page for the resolution. So that is a resolution to close the door permanently and move on. We live in a world where, you know, everybody's not going to like everybody. Everybody's not going to be on the same page, but we have to get to some kind of compromise, you know, in the world. Some people don't like compromise, like I made the example yesterday about the pie. Some people want the whole damn pie. They don't want a piece of it. I want all of it. And under those circumstances, then I have to, you know, shut down the curtain, say goodbye, because I'm not allowing anyone to do certain things to me. I am not in that energy anymore. I'm not that same person. And I think they don't believe it until they contact me and see that I'm not joking. I'm not kidding about any of this. And I do, I don't have to act out a character. I don't have to do certain things. I can just show you that this is how it is, because I am very serious about healing. I've been through so much, been brought down to the ground already. And God allowed it. But now, since I've healed and learned lessons, God is lifting me up. So if God is lifting me up and people still trying to be on that toxicity, I leave them there because I'm not in that space, because I've healed those things. I'm not perfect. I still have my faults, but I've learned lessons. And that's why I'm talking about, as you get better and you stay on that path to healing, your intuition heightens. And listen to your intuition. If something doesn't feel right and it feels uncomfortable, because that's what I had when I was contacted by this person. My intuition was like a fire siren going off all over the place. And I'm not interacting with this because it didn't feel right. So if my intuition lead me in that direction, I'm going to follow it. And it doesn't matter, you know, what people feel about that. It's important, people, that we um, listen to that, and that we take care of our physical and mental health, which is everything. Because without that, we can't do anything else. And it's not being selfish. Maybe some people see it that way, but it's not selfish to self-love yourself, because how do you expect other people to love you if you don't love you? Not to be in love with yourself, but to love yourself, to take care of yourself, to heal the mental and physical health, because without that, you can't function. You can't do anything for anybody else or yourself. And it's important to stay on that path. Sometimes we fall down There was a song in the 80s, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Nothing's going to keep me down. You know, we're going to have that. It's like riding a bike. Nobody gets on and just ride. You're going to fall down a couple of times. Roller skating, you don't just get on the skates and start skating. You're going to fall a few times before you get up and get the hang of it. The same thing with healing. And you have to be dedicated to doing this. And don't beat yourself up if you have days where you just can't get up or you don't feel well. But don't stay in that place. Get up and keep on it the next day. And reward yourself when you get certain things done. You like music, always, do things that's going to help stimulate that growth. I like music. I like certain comedy shows and things like that, and I keep myself busy, especially during times where I feel depressed, like this upcoming Christmas. I have plans on what I'm going to do to keep myself busy, etc. Because, the holiday time is kind of difficult for me because of the losses and etc. However, I try to look at it from a different perspective, you know. So nothing venture is nothing gain. That's the message today. Somebody needs to hear this. Know that you're not alone in this, and that you can get through this. And you don't have to do this alone. And like I said, prayer is so important, asking God to help you. He will if you're sincere about it and you're genuine and you're not behind the scenes trying to hurt or set somebody up for failure. God will answer you, you know. And like I said, I learned to turn pain into power, power into purpose, purpose into paying it forward, to be here to help other people so that they can learn how to heal and to get better, and they can be on the path to helping other people. And also, people, before I go, please, whatever state you live in, please Google a therapist, a grief therapist in your area, and meet with one and see if you connect with them. And then continue to stay on the path to dealing with grief therapy, because that's going to help you a lot as well. And get connected to a grief bereavement group, because you're going to hear stories from other people who are dealing with the same situations or similar situations to yourself, and how they are effectively getting through it. No, you're not alone in this situation. So thank you all for being here today. Please hit that subscribe button so that you know when I'm going to be on, because I can't promise what time. And also hit the like button and share all these videos with other people, because people really need to hear the message today. Thank you again, and I'll be back tomorrow with a new message. And everyone, enjoy your day. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.